Welcome back to the Visibility Shift. I hope you all enjoyed last week's session with Mary-Louise O'Neill. If you didn't catch last week's session, please do check out my website. You'll find past interviews all on there. But in the meantime, this week I'm welcoming Olivia Marocco from Brand New Magazine. It's a fantastic interview, so please do enjoy this. There's loads of great insights, loads of behind the scenes talk about Showtime, and it's really interesting. So you're going to find this fantastic. So in the meantime, I'll see you on the other side. Hello, thank you for joining us today. I'm really excited because we're going to be joined by the fabulous entrepreneur and founder and editor-in-chief of Brand New Magazine, Olivia Marocco. So hello, Olivia. Brand New Magazine, which I'm just going to show you here, has had a massive impact on the world of female business. And not only that, but Olivia's also launched Brand New Connect, which is a brilliant networking group that's been going for a few months now, I think. And she's also responsible for the event of the year, which is Showtime. So before we do anything else and dive into those visibility questions, perhaps Olivia can tell us a bit more about Brand New and a bit more about Showtime, which we're really excited to hear about.
With pleasure. But first of all, thank you. Thanks for inviting me, Liz. And it's lovely to be there and to share a little bit with your audience. So yes, for those who don't know me, I am the founder of Brand New Magazine, which is a magazine dedicated to female entrepreneurs. I created the magazine almost 5 years ago now, as a platform for women in business to be able to shine, to share their stories, and also to get more visible, really. And I felt it was important. I think that was missing 5 years ago. There wasn't so many platforms that would give access to women to shine and again to promote themselves and to share the story. So I thought I'll create a magazine that do that. And then we've progressed. We've grown over the last 5 years into the magazine that you know today. And yeah, the business is growing. So last year I did launch the first edition of our in-person event called Showtime. And this year on the 1st of October is our second edition, which you'll be coming to, Liz.
Yeah, really excited for that.
So this event really is about taking the pages of Brand New Magazine and putting it live on a live event. It is an event that is dedicated to all things personal branding, PR, visibility. So we've got an array of incredible speakers who are going to come and share their expertise with us on all topics on how we can continue building an incredible brand, be visible through the power of personal branding and PR. And then it's in 6 weeks' time. And then Brand New Connect it's the little baby I launched in January. So it's the new kid on the block. And I launched Brand New Connect in the means to offer again another platform, another way for all the community that is hovering around Brand New, whether as a reader, as a contributor, or as a fan, to come together and connect and network together. And it's shaping up to be half networking, half mini masterminding. We've got experts coming in every month, also not just to present, but it's a group discussion. So Brand New Connect is still a little baby that needs to be that is molding itself, but that's what we've been doing this year.
Yeah, and it's really good. I mean, I attend regularly, and I've found so much value in that. So it's a part of that visibility journey that we're going to talk about today. And so I've been asking questions to different people in business who are really good at their visibility. And one of the first questions that I wanted to ask you was, what do you think was the sort of like key one thing or things that initially got you noticed? Because I know before Brand New, you started out as a photographer, didn't you? So you were doing something kind of in the beginning of your journey. So just wondered how you found that.
Sure. Well, yes. So prior to creating Brand New, I was a photographer like you. I had an incredible career. And like most of the women that we feature in the magazine, COVID allowed me to reevaluate where I wanted to go with my life. And I decided to stop on the photography journey. And one thing to led to another, and that's where the creation of Brand New Magazine. So I guess one of the first things that helped me stand out was just the creation of this magazine, purely because we've got to go back 5 years ago now, pre-COVID almost. There were very few platforms out there for female entrepreneurs that enable them, like I said, to share the story and to share their expertise, to promote themselves, but also to learn and to benefit from all that expertise. So I guess creating a magazine itself is not innovative. There's plenty of magazines out there, whether in the mainstream or indie mags. But I think creating a magazine dedicated to female entrepreneurs was quite new, was quite innovative. There weren't any
Yeah.
others, existing at the time. But visibility didn't come just because I launched a magazine either. I think visibility or being noticed came as I worked really hard every month to make sure that the quality of the magazine kept getting better and better. And at the same time, working really hard on trying to build the brand. So, using social media, obviously networking and utilizing all these wonderful women that would write for Brand New Magazine and submit their article. And I guess also bouncing back on their own communities as they promote. So I started getting notice when the magazine started to grow, as people started sharing, speaking about it. Oh, look, I've been featured here and I've been featured there. And, a year passed and 2 years passed, and the reputation of Brand New Magazine became more and more. And I think that's gradually how people stop and paid attention. And
Yeah.
so it's sort of a quick fix like this. Hey, I'm visible, it's,
It's
it,
it's an amazing magazine, and I think the fact is we're in an amazing time for women in business, and that has kind of cemented it for a lot of people, having
yeah,
somewhere to kind of focus
yeah,
the way they can see other women in business and see what people are doing. It's
yeah.
amazing. Um, so do you feel like you took a leap of faith? So what leap of faith did you take to step out of your comfort zone and into the limelight?
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting question because, having the courage to step away from your comfort zone, it's a very powerful thing to do. And I know that it worked for me when I knew I was ready for it. So like I said, for the first few years, I was very much behind the scene. You would know as a photographer, we tend to be behind and not in front of the camera. So like most people, for me, when I created Brand New, it was about the business, it was about the magazine, it wasn't about me. And I was quite happy to keep working behind the scenes. But I guess one of the biggest leap of faith was the creation of Showtime last year,
Yeah,
not only on the sort of financial front or anything else, but more on the leap of faith of this was my first opportunity really to come out of the shadow properly and to host this event. And I remember one of my team member just overheard a conversation from two of our attendees, and one of them said, "Oh, I didn't know Olivia, and it's so nice to see her in person and to see her doing her stuff like on the stage." And I guess that really made me think, oh my God, yeah, I have been behind the scene a lot. And it's been about the magazine and it's been about the women in the magazine, the women featured. And, a lot of my promotion has been focused on that. So hearing somebody who I think she was a reader, I mean, she was a reader of Brand New Magazine, so she knew my product, but she didn't really know me. And
yeah.
even though I keep thinking, well, I'm out there on social media and I'm posting and I'm, every so often sharing something, but I don't think people really got the whole idea of who I was. So I guess my
Yeah.
first leap of faith to come out of the shadows was standing on the stage of Showtime last year and yeah, and meeting in real life, in person, all these women that are fan of the brand, the readers and contributors, and meeting them in person. And that also gave me courage and confidence to go, okay, maybe I can be a little bit more forefront of my brand and not
And
keep hiding.
and it's such a brave step because many of us, I mean, myself included, standing up on stage in front of all those people that are your ideal audience, your ideal clients, it is scary, and it's scary for all of us. And I'm sure for you too. A lot of people look at um, entrepreneurs like yourself and others who are kind of had this huge success and think that you don't feel that nerves, but I'm from what you're saying, it is the same for you as it is for everyone else.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, we're all humans at the end of the day, and being on stage is not something that would naturally like would come naturally to me. But you, what's the wonderful thing is you really never know. I think you can always surprise yourself. And I do remember sharing a story of how I felt that day, and I remember I had a communication coach give me a few bits of advice before showtime because I've never done the whole public speaking, and I was worried about how, would I keep my audience engaged, and you know so she gave me a few tips before showtime, and which was great. But I remember the day of showtime, I remember before the event started, as people were sitting down, I literally went to the toilet and checked the mirror just to make sure everything was okay. And I said, okay, Olivia, and I was nervous. My heart was, thumping. And I was like, okay, just calm down, Olivia. At the end of the day, you're not here to be a polished public speaker. You're here because you have invited all these women to your party, to your event, and think of yourself more as a host, and don't put pressure on yourself that you have to deliver something that's, incredibly polished and with all the right attitudes and the right hand movement. Just be yourself.
Yeah,
And I think that really helped me. And the minute I did get on that stage, yes, I was nervous. I could hear it in my voice. I was speaking a little bit too fast. And but as first 10 minutes, 15 minutes went on, and I was looking at the room of people. They were all women that I kind of knew in a way because I'd seen them on the magazine, I'd seen them on social media. So they weren't strangers. And I think that really helped. But I think we can all surpass ourselves and our fears if we know that what we're delivering is an incredible moment with value, with an experience that your guests are going to walk away feeling energized from. So I think we can all surprise ourselves, and it's really good. I felt really good stepping out of my comfort zone.
yeah,
The only thing that for me that had what do you call it, like a real possible impact was more on the financial side of the event. What if it was a flop, and what if I
yeah,
would lose money, and what if nobody turned up, and what, it wasn't so much of would my delivery be a flop, but more
yeah,
case. So that's where I guess the
yeah,
biggest risk is that investment, that stepping out of my comfort zone, going, I need to invest for my business to grow. And that comes with risk. But that's what, entrepreneurs are about,
yeah,
no?
yeah,
Taking risks, calculated.
absolutely.
As
Well, absolutely.
responsible.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So my final question to you is, what piece of advice would you offer listeners today to become to become
More.
more visible to their ideal audience, and what key piece of advice would you give?
Well, I guess as the editor of Brand New Magazine, I'm gonna have to bring the subject back to media, and I guess my best advice for you, and you've probably heard this, but it's don't be the best kept secret. And the media out there, whether it's print media, whether it's online media, whether it's podcasting, we're all looking, we are all in need of incredible stories, expertise to be shared. So I guess for you to start being more visible outside of just your social media, outside your little bubble, is to consider media as a great tool to reach wider audience. So share your story, package up your story, and don't hesitate to send it to journalists, send it to editors, because you never know who's going to accept it. But I guess be attentional as where you're sending this, where you're sending your story, which newspaper outlet, which magazine, and to make sure that your audience is actually interested in that particular medium. So I guess media is should be part of your visibility strategy at some point. We've all got a story, we've all got expertise that would suit a certain newspaper, a certain magazine. Package that up, build your media portfolio, whether that's podcasts, being a host on a podcast, or you've been featured in Brand New Magazine or in any other publication. Package that up into a really interesting, powerful media media, what do you call it? Media pack, I guess, and utilize the power of that to widen your visibility away from your little bubble on social media and to a much wider audience. I think it has to be included within your whole strategy, visibility strategy.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, I think it's really, really good advice. It's something that I also tell my clients that they should be looking beyond social media and into kind of
yeah,
more PR type
yeah.
visibility.
And have strategy and intent. What is it that you want to achieve with PR? Package your story. Have some great photos. I mean, we need to talk about photography as well as a really powerful tool included in your media pack.
Yeah,
They could
yeah,
make the difference, but also it's a great way to show you. So make sure you have a very interesting portfolio of images, brand images, lifestyle images, headshots, so that wherever you're going to go, whether it's applying to be a speaker at an event, a podcast, or in the press or in print, you have images that can help you get accepted on all those projects. So that's also an
yeah,
important part.
absolutely. I'm going to agree with that
Yeah.
totally, 100%. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your visibility journey. I know everyone's going to be really fascinated to listen to this. And I hope everyone's enjoyed this session today. So please let us know in the comments. And I'm going to put some information and details about Olivia there. So if you want to follow up with Olivia at all or find out a little bit more about Olivia's journey, um, you can check that out too.
Yeah.
And
Get in touch.
yeah, thank you so much. And I will see
Thanks,
you
Liz.
very
At
soon
some time.
I will be there. I'll be seeing you at Showtime, and I'll see you in the Brand New Connect Zoom room as well
Yes.
very soon. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Liz. Thank you,
That's
everybody.
amazing. I hope you enjoyed that. I think it was an amazing and interesting interview with Olivia Marocco. Um, Obviously, all of you here are really interested in visibility. You're business owners, and in order to make sales, we need to be visible to our ideal clients. So you know all that. But if you need any help with that, I can give you lots of advice. It's 6 ways to boost your visibility and get more clients, and you can find that on my website. You can also find on my website past interviews, so go and check them out. It'll be Mary Louise today, but in future there'll be more interviews sitting there. So thank you again, and hopefully see you next week when we've got Zenat Ahmed Pito. So don't miss that one either. Okay, take care. Bye.